if you were to say, do you believe that Goldman Sachs is partly responsible? Do you believe Lehman Brothers are partly responsible? They're all going to say they're
all going to say they're partly responsible.
So if you don't get that, actually the percentage is lower than what I would have thought.
You would think. They put, this is among all adults, 62% agree, 24% disagree, and 14% don't know.
This is don't know I worry about. If you don't know, I mean, what world are you living in? I mean, okay, you can't turn on a television set today. I mean, you may not read the newspapers, but you got a TV. You can't turn on a TV set without somebody telling you.
Well, do you think the government should use taxpayer dollars to rescue ailing private financial firms whose collapse could have adverse effects on the economy and the market? No is 55%. Yes is 31%, and 14% is
that don't know again, which is scary.
Well, you know, part of it is it's the way it's worded. It should use taxpayers' dollars to rescue ailing private financial firms.
Well, there are not private financial firms. These are owned by stockholders, which means the same people whose money you would take to rescue them are...
Now here's the other part. When they talk about ailing private financial firms, is sometimes people forget that, you know, that 401k plan you have?
You have stock from those companies.
Or even a mutual fund.
They invest in this stuff. Okay, the mutual funds, the money market, they invest the money from the people that give it to them in the stocks that these companies that are folding have.
Well, and part of it is some of the core stocks, and you know, the more conservative, you know, they ask you your risk factor. Some of the core stocks have always been related to banking and to, you know, like the oil companies.
Yeah.
They've always been part of the core stocks.
Yeah, I mean, okay, General Motors used to be one of the core stocks, and General Motors is tanking now. Yeah. Should we crucify the people at General Motors because they simply couldn't get the idea that muscle cars were out years ago? Should they be jailed as a result of building cars like that? I mean, it is a bad financial decision, but you should not go to jail because you have simply made a stupid financial choice. Look at, okay, we're going to jail all of the people working for McDonald's that bought $800,000 homes?
Well, you know, there's a problem.
I mean, who made the worst decision? The guy making $7 an hour that can't pay for an $800,000 home, or the executive that turned out 500,000 cars that nobody wanted to buy?
Or the person that approved the loan.
That's right.
I mean, you know, to a certain degree.
Who are you going to jail?
The person thought, oh, look, here's my chance to get a house. I've never been able to get one, and if they're stupid enough to give me a loan.
No, this is all in politics they call it the law of unintended consequences. This all started out with a really good idea by Bill Clinton. It was not a malicious idea. Yeah. He figured it was a good way to get people into homes.
And it did. And hindsight's always 20/20. It's just the repercussions that it has throughout the
That's
history.
right. What happened was that more people could get into homes that could afford the homes, and it jacked up the prices of homes. And because that little guy at McDonald's still under the law could get into a home, the guy that bought the home for $50,000 under Clinton is now paying $600,000 under Bush because the people jacked up the loans. But he still doesn't have any more money than the guy that paid the $50,000.
That's right.
And that $50,000 home therefore became a $600,000 home. They all took second mortgages out on the home to get the equity out, and a lot of them actually bought we're talking this, a lot of people on $7 an hour bought second homes.
Oh, God.
They had the equity in the first home.
You know, part of you just wonder. You know, like.
Well, no, we've seen the places. We have seen, you know, when we go go to a convention or something out of the city of Los Angeles, we have checked into places. You know, we won't tell you which places we step in because you would want to go there too, and then they'd raise the rates. But we have stepped into places where they have people in these resorts that basically are working at McDonald's that have bought timeshares in the resorts with the equity they had in their homes.
Well, you know, and part of the challenge is, I mean, these people thought they would flip it. Part of the challenge is if you spent $500,000 on that home, you know, you still owe the bank or whoever you got it $500,000.
Yeah, and this whole thing has got to do with the fact that the Republicans want it to be paid for, the Democrats wanted to, the Democrats know the taxpayers are going to get it. What the Democrats want is that these people that stupidly bought homes they couldn't afford don't have to pay for them. That's the whole problem.
Ah, okay. So here's the next one. Who would you say you feel more financially secure, less secure, or about the same as you did 6 months ago? Now this was taken last weekend. I'm sure the results would be different now. 27% is much less. 23% somewhat less. 8% is much more. Now here's the interesting part. 1% doesn't know. Somewhat more is 5%, and same as 37%.
Well, it's because those are the guys that basically don't have to worry about. They're secure.
So
they own their own homes, didn't take second mortgages out, and they have a fixed income probably.
So that's 37 of the people.
Which the biggest group of the people aren't worried about the situation.
I know. I mean, I find that one actually kind of fascinating because if you take, here's somewhat more, same, and don't know.
Yeah.
So there's 42, 43%, but the biggest block is the same. That's from 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Now I'd be curious, like after this weekend, if you took a poll, not this weekend, while they're trying to iron things out, but next week.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. For all of those people that don't think something's going to happen, something is going to happen. There will be a deal made. Okay. Basically, I'll do another Mark Twain. He said that when a good piece of legislation is passed, it has something in it to make everybody angry.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen.
And Congress knows, the President knows, Paulson knows, even the public knows something has to be done. It's going to be done.
The
question is, what needs to be done?
Okay, what needs to be done is they have to bail out the American public. When you're bailing out, I'm assuming the same people that are pissed off about the bailout are saying that I really feel sorry for the 25,000 people that got axed at Lehman Brothers. I really feel sorry for all of the people that lost all of their life savings in Washington Mutual and stock. I feel sorry about all of this. And these are the same people that don't understand that it is their money that shores up Wall Street. It's not the Buffetts have got money. The Gates have got money. Gates is talking about buying $40 billion worth of the company stock back because it's down.
Yep.
These are the guys that they're taking advantage of everybody losing. But it's the little guy. Okay, we're even going to talk. We're going to go back to the guy at McDonald's. They basically, a lot of them have, some of the places my family is connected with, the employees in retirement things is basically buying stock in the company. I do know some people that, for instance, they thought they were secure with their stock, and now they find out that the stock in the company they were getting ready to retire. They were given a choice here. Instead of taking the $200,000 you had in our stock, we'll let you have $30 a month for the rest of your life, or you can take $2,000 or $3,000 buyout.
Yeah,
That's right. And nobody is after those companies for rating the employment fund to buy stock.
So now that's the results of the LA Times Bloomberg, their poll on why Americans are reluctant to bail out Wall Street.
And tomorrow's going to be a different one. You know that. Sunday it'll be different. Monday it'll be different. And after the bailout is done, which is going to cost in the trillions, you're going to have even different things.
But for right now, because there's plenty to talk about. So right now, this is Notaspringchick.
And old Cam off camera. He's playing with a chair dog.
We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow.